Hi everybody, I'm SS the Showstopper and I'm coming to you from the Devil Advocate channel. Today is the 11th of October in the year of our Lord 2022. Oh, I finally get it right. I always say 2000. No, it's 2022. I'm sorry people, like I said, I'm trying very hard to speak the Queen's language so that a few persons, like I said, the English is not their first language and they don't speak patois. They have a clear understanding of what I'm trying to say. So I'm trying to incorporate the Queen's language as best as I can. Okay, and I'll talk a little bit more slower because they say that I'm going too fast. I don't like when scripted, like when I jot down things and I'm going to say it because it tends to flow and I tend to speak a little faster because I know what's the next thing. I know the next issue or the next reference that I'm going to take. So I don't like to jot down things. I like to speak candidly because when I do that, audience can relate to me more and I stop and I think and they can understand that, okay, I'm human. I'm not a robot that's speaking. So they have a better understanding of what I'm trying to convey. Now, today, I want to talk about the comment that dancehall artist SHENSEEA made. I don't even know if I should call her dancehall artist because she said that she wants to be a pop. I don't. Oh God. But okay, let me put it at dancehall. Dancehall artist SHENSEEA have made and her fan page have made and the image of SHENSEEA in dancehall and what it represents. Now she has made a comment that she glad she don't kiss ASS ass. She glad she don't kiss ASS, and her fan page have made some really disturbing messages. Her fan page posted some disturbing messages about Nicki Minaj and about the females and stuff like that, and it had to do with Nicki Minaj's personal life. And while we all know that, she's married to an ex-convict and stuff like that, Nicki is not the person that's putting it out there or putting her personal life out there like that. It's actually the media and the vlogs that are basically going at it. And so we leave it at that. But the fan page had made some remarks about it. And SHENSEEA, was making her sending subliminal messages. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit distracted. Sending subliminal messages and stuff like that. And looking at the image of SHENSEEA in dancehall. Now we all know SHENSEEA is a mixed race female that's in the music or in the genre of dancehall. Now remember, I spoke about Miss Kitty, I spoke about Kanye West. What people should understand is that there are 5 representation of black people in the media. 5 representation of black people in the media. And it came from, yes, slavery. So when black people were being put out to the world for places that didn't participate in slavery or for places that had an idea or even participate, but people didn't see black people as much, the media at the time put out images of black people. And that's what they wanted the public to see. Because remember that slavery not only affected enslaved people, it also affected the entire world. Once you were a participant, the master, the planter themselves, the merchants, it affected the mass, those who weren't a part of it, because they were being fed on the 5 images of black people. And it's being fed for generation on generation on generation. Remember, I spoke about Miss Kitty being a modern day mommy because that's what she chose to portray. The imagery of a modern day mommy. Remember, I spoke about Kanye West being an Uncle Tom because of the things that he's doing and stuff like that. See, they now ban him, but that's another subject for another time. And I spoke, so one of them is a mommy, one of them is an Uncle Tom. The other one is a wench. And for those who don't know who a wench is a female. A wench is a female who got perks and privileges during slavery. And one of the what should I say, one of the price that she had to pay was to sleep with the slave master, or to sleep with the planter. You understand? And so a wench tend to be a mix, not a mulatto, not a mulatto, not a mulatto, not a mulatto. A wench tend to be a mixed race individual, a mixed race female, or she was, what should I say, she was very allured. She had a great amount of beauty and aura to her. So that was a wench, you know. She got a lot of perks and privileges during slavery. You know, she was also hated by the planter's wife, or the slave master's wife, because of the fact that they knew she was sleeping with the planter or the owner. Not that she had a choice, because in slavery you don't have a choice. So this was actually a victim of rape. Whether she enjoyed it, whether she liked it or what, it matters not. She didn't have a choice to say no. So she is a rape victim. Okay, so that's the definition of a wench. Now, SHENSEEA, in all her glory and stuff like that, and this is not a disrespect to her. I like some of her music. I like some of her music. I like her attitude of owning things. I like that about her. She's not the type of person that back down, or she's not the type of person that cracks under pressure. She seems to be a level-headed female. She makes a lot of mistakes as she go along, and nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect, so I will not hold it against her at all. Nobody's perfect, and she has been ostracized and criticized a lot in the media. She has said many remarks that were very unkind and very disrespectful also to Caribbean people, and we see wherein it's costing her a lawsuit right now for the same music that they were questioning whether she got the clearance for it. But put all that aside, she may comment about not kissing, but my main, not kissing ass, but my main thing that I want to talk about is representation of SHENSEEA in dancehall. Now, as I said, there are 5 images of black people that the media put out to the world. So once you see a black person, you automatically think that of them. And one of them is a wench. And SHENSEEA is a mixed race female that is in the genre of dancehall. And the reason people do not, her image doesn't sit well, or SHENSEEA herself doesn't sit well with the grand mass, is that she is privileged by her appearance, by the fact that she is mixed race and she is on a former slave island. And so people have an idea and have an understanding that these are the type of people that are usually put forward. These are the type of people that usually get perks, whether they're educated or not, whether they're rich or not. They are the type of persons that usually get by in life. Dancehall music is an escape route for a lot of females, a lot of males who are from at-risk community and poor socio-economic background. Dancehall music became an escape route for them. People are looking at SHENSEEA could have easily choose singing, she could have choose reggae, she could have choose gospel, she could have choose anything under entertainment other than dancehall, because she would automatically get by when other females had to struggle. If we look at a Pampute, if we look at even a Dovey Magnum, even though she's light skinned, if we look at a Spice, these are females who had to struggle, who had to do a lot of free shows, who had to fight to get their name out there. And fighting to get their name out there. SHENSEEA didn't necessarily have that. She was initially paid to be on shows. She was paid to go here, to go there. And that's what doesn't sit well with a lot of people. Because while they admire her and saying that, yes, she's beautiful because she's mixed race, and we know that the black community is a colorist community that caters for people with light skin and silk pressed hair. Right? And because of that, they look at SHENSEEA that way and say, oh, it's a privileged female coming into dancehall. So whether she's talented or not, and all these kind of things, that's besides what people are looking at. People are looking at her image and saying that she could have chose anything else and leave dancehall to the females who have it hard and are struggling on a daily basis and trying to make ends meet, using their talent to inject in dancehall as an escape route. Right? She went in it and she automatically went out. You understand me? And people bite because she had that engine behind her to push her and to make sure that she goes out there and she's in the mind of people. As we can see, I had to block around 20 to 23 SHENSEEA pages when I was on Instagram I had to block them daily because all day, every day, my account was being bombarded with this on coming up on my timeline. And so I just didn't really have it. I cater for her music and that was it. I didn't cater for the whole photo and this and that and the imagery. Yes, she's beautiful and I like to see nice photo shoot. But they weren't sending a message. There wasn't a message behind the art. It was just photos. And so I don't necessarily cater for that. And so I had to block them because I just wanted to hear her music and see her realness. And that was my thing. Now, back to my argument. People are very uncomfortable with her. And so, because people are very uncomfortable with her, the least thing she does or say will stir a shock, you understand me, to the mass, and they will come at her. Just like how she made the comment about she glad she don't because she wasn't featured on the album, and people are saying that I'm sure if Nicki Minaj had called her, she wouldn't say no, she would have went. So for her to make that statement, they don't like it. They think that she's bad mind and she's this and that. That's the rhetoric people like to throw out there, that she's bad mind and stuff. Like I said, I'm not here to tear her down. If you notice, she also has the most endorsement and stuff like that. And people are saying that SHENSEEA does good music, and SHENSEEA, no, it doesn't. She does lewd music. She does music that are very raunchy, that are overly sexual, just the same as Spice and stuff like that. Corporate Jamaica knew the representation of SHENSEEA in music and wanted to give her the endorsement, and that's where it's at. They like the light skin, they like the silk press hair, they cater for the imagery that she has, and she's the one that got the endorsement. Her music is just as raunchy as an Aishana, as a Spice, as a Pampute. It's no different. As a matter of fact, corporate Jamaica and the society, when she came about, tend to accept her. They wanted to accept her as this uptown girl, female, because of her appearance. She's not an uptown girl female. She's a regular person. She never catered for upper echelon in society. She was never that person. But the society on a whole accepted her as that. And so because they accept her as that, anything that she does, it's like King Midas. It turns gold. Corporate Jamaica wanted to give her the endorsement. They did not want to give Spice. Because Spice, I'm going to tell you what Spice represents in another video. They didn't want to give it to Spice because they claim that Spice is too lewd. No, Spice is a dark-skinned woman that's jet black. And though very beautiful, she is very beautiful. She has a very gorgeous face. She has a very gorgeous, that's one thing we're not going to say. We're not going to say that she's ugly. She is very beautiful. She has a very gorgeous face. But besides all that, that's not enough to take you where you want to go. They want the real deal. And the real deal is a mixed chick. The real deal is a mixed chick with silk press hair. And SHENSEEA was a perfect imager of that. And that's what corporate Jamaica does. So are they racist? Are they prejudiced? Are they colorist? Yes, they are. We are not going to hide that. Corporate Jamaica is racist and it's very prejudiced and stuff like that. And who is behind it? A lot of black people. A lot of dark-skinned black people are behind it. Because Stockholm Syndrome affects everybody. It doesn't matter. You don't escape it because you have a lot of money. You escape Stockholm Syndrome when you come into self-awareness. And you make a decision right after that. You understand? It affects all of us. All of us. So corporate Jamaica being led by a lot of black people, even though it's owned by white, by mixed people, by people that look like SHENSEEA. At the end of the day, it's operated and its function, it's being basically engineered by a lot of black people who are in an esteemed position. And they chose SHENSEEA over a Spice. So, Miss SHENSEEA, while you are doing very well and your talent has carried you off very far away, I don't think your talent really did, to be honest, because not only that, you had writers that did you had writers that wrote your songs for you, that sent you out there. And you have an engine behind you. You are a very fortunate female. You have an engine behind you that keeps pushing you to take you where you want to go. Spice didn't have that. Pampute certainly didn't have that. Dovey Magnum certainly didn't have that. And that's one of the reasons I had to show my disdain to FOOTA HYPE for coming to Dovey, because these women had to use their brain to see how they can cement themselves in dancehall and have a name for themselves. Dovey Magnum chose the very raunchy side of oral sex and stuff like that. You understand? That's what actually worked for her. She couldn't come out representing a mixed chick. She couldn't come out because she simply would not get the privilege. She didn't. Spice didn't. Even though they're not friends and yada yada, she throwing shade at Dovey Magnum and all these kind of things. It's not worth it. At the end of the day, they would never get it. The only person who got it was SHENSEEA. And the only person who looks the way she does is her in dancehall. So you do the math and find out where am I lying. This is how it works, and this is how it works from slavery until 2022. They go by the image. They go by the image of what a person represents, a black person represents. Someone like me, there's a representation of me also. There's a representation, so don't think that there isn't. When people see me, they'll probably see a hoochie. They probably see a wench too, maybe, but they also see a hoochie. That's what they see. You understand me? Can I escape it? Yeah, probably if I wear something else, I most likely can. But there are people who will still have that in their head. You understand me? Because that's what they see. That's what you are programmed to see. And might I add that black people aren't the only persons that see it. It's white people, because they know. They'll pretend as if they don't know. They'll pretend as if they don't know, but trust me, they are fully aware. They know what to say and what not to say. And that's why they hire the mommy, because the mommy will say it. You get where I'm going? So while it's great that she has a success in her career and she's doing well for herself, let us not forget that. Let us not forget that Miss SHENSEEA is a privileged female in dancehall. She got an escape route. She got an escape route merely by her physical appearance, and it came with a lot of perks where people are willing to invest. People are willing to give her the endorsement rather than give it to Pamputee or give it to Spice. She didn't have to struggle anywhere, any at all in dancehall. You understand me? So when Ding Dong made the comment that people are coming, he's sticking up for SHENSEEA and he's supporting SHENSEEA because people are coming for her based on her. Yes, it's easy for him to say that because she represents an image that he likes. You know, she represents an image that a lot of men tend to want because the media tend to put them out there. And might I add also that these record labels are also not interested in signing black women. They're not interested in signing dark-skinned females, black women. They are interested in signing the mixed chick. We can do our research. It's not a lie. That's what they're going for. They're going for the wenches now. That's what they're going for. And I might say it, but when they have their corporate meeting, when they have their board meeting, that's what they refer to you as. We don't want the hoochie, we want the wench. Or we don't want the mommy. We don't want the mommy, we want the wench. And so bring the wench come. You know. You are sitting there as a black female or as a mixed chick, don't know what term that they're referring to. So you think that, okay, yay, you got me signed and I'm getting 10 million US, 5 million US, 20 million US. I'm getting all this money in advance. And that's what, I'm happy that I got signed. But they're signing you based on your representation and what they want, the agenda that they have. Because they have to keep pushing it, That's the thing. That's why she got where she is, because you have to keep pushing the engine. You have to keep it. Like I said in my previous video, that you study the past to know the future. Someone has to be made to feel inferior at all times, because that's how they make money. That's how the engine keeps going. Someone has to feel special on other people's behalf. Someone has to feel superior. Someone has to be put in a position where they're feeling inferior. You understand me? So for a female to come out and like Nicki Minaj and decide that, listen, I'm going to look past all of this, even though Nicki Minaj herself has that imagery, she made a decision that, listen, I'm not going to do this. I'm going against the grain. And that's why it creates a lot of unease for a lot of people, because they want to get Nicki Minaj out. That's the goal. They want to get Nicki Minaj out of music. But they can't, because she has a fan base that supports her. And you can't say it's Payola because they buy the hard copy of her music. You understand me? So when Nikki goes against the grain and say that, okay, besides all of that, I'm going to put females who would never get by, females who do not have that imagery. I'm sorry, I shake my hair a lot because my neck tends to stick me. Um, so because she decided to put females forward that doesn't have that imagery or doesn't have that look like a SHENSEEA. A lot of people are upset. A lot of people will find ways to skip around fences. They want to get into semantics of the content of the lyrics. They want to get into who should have been here, who should have been there, and all these kind of things. But the bottom line is those women should not have gotten it. Those women should not have gotten the limelight. Those women should not have gotten the highlight that Nicki Minaj gave her. That's why I thank her a million. A million. Had SHENSEEA been the one that got the feature, a lot of people would have been very happy because she was placed there for that purpose, to remind you that you are less, to remind you that you are inferior, to remind you that you should desire to look like this. So whatever it is that she puts out there will sell because it's a reminder that this is where you should be, this is how you should look. Pumpity and Spice is going to remind you that no, Dove Magnum, they're going to remind you that no, this is not how you should look. This is not how you should be. You are actually beautiful. You are actually very sexy. You are actually gorgeous. You can own it. You can be rich. You can be successful. You can be desirable too. They don't want that because you are starting to feel, her audience are going to start to feel equal. And that's not what they want. That's not, you study the past to know the future. So that's what people need to understand. She has an image in dancehall, and that's what the image is. It's not to come at SHENSEEA because maybe she herself don't know. You understand me? She might understand her privilege because she's not an idiot. She might understand her privilege. She's well aware of it. You understand me? But this is how far it goes back. It goes back to slavery. It goes back to slavery. And they are looking for that image. They are looking for that representation. They are looking for that. If you notice, for example, a Lizzo is always nude. A Lizzo is always owning her sexuality. She's always owning her size. She's always out there naked. And it's always in a rather vulgar. It's always in a rather, it's not enticing. Clearly, a large nude woman can be art, but she's not portraying art. And they're doing it on purpose. They are doing it on purpose and putting her out there on purpose like that because they want you to feel inferior. They want you to feel less. They know the public is going to come at her, but they're celebrating it as body positivity, as female empowerment. No, because clearly she can be put out there in a more tasteful manner if she's celebrating the art of a large woman, if she's celebrating the art of female empowerment. Clearly, she can be put out there in a more positive, in a more wholesome manner, even while nude. But they choose to put her out there in a vulgar fashion, in an outlandish, in a frightening, to give you that shock value because they want the image. Remember, the mommy, they want that image to resonate in people's head and keep the engine going because the engine should keep going. Food for thought. So that's all I have to say on it. Thank you for your time. May God bless you, and I'll see you again on the Devil Advocates channel. Remember, I'm an eye-opener. That's all I do. I show you what's hidden in plain sight. Okay, take care of yourself. May God bless you.